The Committee on Rules, off a day, hereby convenes this meeting. For the record, today is January 11th and the time is now 12:25 Chamorro Standard Time. A first notice for this meeting was sent to all media outlets on Thursday, January 4th, 2024, and posted on the Government of Guam Public Notices portal that same day. A second notice was sent to all media outlets on Tuesday, January 9th, 2024, and posted on the Gov Guam Public Notices portal that same day. The rules of engagement: the chair will recognize a member who raises their hand to make a motion. The chair will rule a member out of order if they have not been recognized by the chair. The chair will also note that a second to a motion is not required. The Core Director, Ms. Cameron Nelson, will now call the roll of members.
Chairperson Senator Barnett.
Gagiat.
Vice Chairperson Senator Perez. Speaker Terlahi. Vice Speaker Munya Barnes. Senator Shelton. Senator Parkinson. Senator Kanata. Senator San Augustine. Senator San Nicolas. Senator Brown. Senator Duenas. Senator Fisher. Senator Taitigui. Mr. Chair, there is a quorum.
Chair will now recognize, thank you, Madam Director, the Vice Chair on a motion to excuse members not present.
So moved, Mr. Chair.
Any objections? Motion passes. Colleagues, the core meeting minutes can be found on the Google Drive folder dated 1/11/24, labeled 3, approval of 37th Guam Legislature core meeting minutes. The chair will now recognize the Vice Chair on a motion to approve the core meeting minutes for the November 14th, 2024 meeting.
I move to accept the core meeting minutes.
On the motion to approve the core meeting minutes for the November 14th meeting, subject to corrections, any objections? Hearing none, motion passes. We will now move on to item number 4 on the core agenda, document tracking. I'll recognize our Legislative Secretary, Senator Amanda Shelton, who has prepared the document tracking. And again, colleagues, these documents are available in the Google Core Meeting Drive dated January 11th, 2024.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair, Hafaday colleagues. The Legislative Secretary reports to date are as follows. Appointments by the Governor. 59 appointments have been submitted by Governor Leon Guerrero. 1 appointment confirmed during the March 3rd, 2023 session. 1 appointment confirmed in the March 27th, 2023 session. 4 confirmed during the April 2023 session. 3 confirmed during the May session. 7 during the June session. 6 during the July session. 12 during the October session, and 2 during the November 2023 session. A total of 37 appointments have been confirmed. Of the remaining 22 appointments, there are pending confirmations, 4 withdrawals, and 5 have extended beyond the 90-day authorized time. There is 1 zone change request at this time, and there are 6 rules and regulations requests. 3 bills have been introduced, and all 3 are now law. 2 have lapsed by default. There are 4 registered lobbyists with the Guam Legislature. Suduas Masi, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much, Senator Shelton. We'll now move to the next item on the agenda, sub-item B, ratification of referrals, re-referrals. Colleagues, these documents, again, can be found in the Google Drive folder labeled 04B, legislative item logs. Does the chair hear a motion to ratify the referral of Bill number 196-37LS through 200-37LS and 201-37 core through 204-37 core and 205-37LS and 206-37LS and 208-37 core through 211-37 core and 212-37LS and 213-37 core through 227-37 core.
I move to ratify the referrals.
Any objections? None, motion passes. The chair will note there has been no resolutions referred since our November 14, 2023 core meeting. Does the chair hear a motion to ratify the referrals of appointments?
So moved.
No objections, thank you. We now move on to Committee on Rules resolutions. Colleagues, these documents can be found in the Google Drive folder labeled 04C, Committee on Rules resolutions. The Committee on Rules resolution is resolution number 285-37 COR, which is relative to amending section 1409W of Rule 14, Part E of Mina'trentai, Siette, Liheslaturan, Guåhan, Otdin, Reglamento, the 37th Guam Legislature Standing Rules. Resolution number 285-37, COR, corrects an error in our standing rules relative to our employees and the payout of lump sums. I'm asking that we formally adopt this resolution in our rules meeting today. On the motion to adopt resolution number 285-37 COR, are there any objections? There is an objection. All those in favor, please signify by raising your hand. Motion passes. Thank you very much. We'll now move on to items cleared for consideration of the session agenda. Committee reports for the following items have been duly filed with the Committee on Rules. Colleagues, I'd like to note the following committee reports have been filed with the Committee on Rules and are available on our legislative website for review and public view. Yeah. Senator Perez, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move to place Bill 182-37 COR as amended by the Committee on Environment, Revenue and Taxation, Labor Procurement, Statistics, Research and Planning, sponsored by myself, Sabina Flores Perez, as an act to add a new Article 10 to Chapter 51A of Title 10 Guam Code annotated relative to establishing the ORDOT Dump Reserve Fund. I wish to place this on the session agenda. I move to place this on the session agenda.
Any objections? Seeing none, motion passes.
Yeah, it's on the agenda here.
Senator Perez.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I also move to place Bill number 165-37 COR as amended by the Committee on Environment, Revenue and Taxation, Labor Procurement, Statistics, Research and Planning, sponsored by myself, Senator Sabina Flores Perez, co-sponsored by Senator Chris Barnett, Speaker Teresa M. Terlahi, Senator Dwayne T.D. Nicholas, Senator Joe S. San Augustine. It's an act to add a new Article 10 and a new Section 51A 120, C of all of Chapter 51A, Title 10, and a new Section 14104P to Chapter 14, Title 12 Guam Code annotated relative to establishing the Guam Solid Waste Authority Island-wide Collection Plan. I move to place this on the session agenda. This is 165-37.
On the motion to play 165-37.
Yeah, this one here.
And I know there's a lot of items on the agenda, so I'd ask that we limit it to 2 bills per member for the first round and then see where we're at from there. On the motion to place 165-37 COR onto the agenda, any objections? None. Motion passes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Senator Perez? Yeah. Can you move it for me?
Sure. Where's that? I move to place Bill 185-37 LS as amended by the Committee on Health, Land, Justice, and Culture, sponsored by Senator Chris Barnett, as an act to add a new Section 83117, Chapter 83, Title 12, Guam Code, annotated relative to requiring any new hospital constructed pursuant to the Guam 21st Century Healthcare Center Act of 2021 to be constructed on Lot 5173-1-R2 New-R7, Lot 5173-1-R2 New-7, and Lot 5173-1-R2 New-6, Municipality of Tamuning, to be placed on the session agenda.
On the motion to place 185-37 COR.
May I be heard?
Senator Fisher?
Thank you, sir. I was just wondering, after having heard...
Oh. All right, apologies. We had an interruption in the live stream. We were on the motion to add Bill 185-37 COR to the session agenda. Senator Fisher had been recognized. Senator.
Yep, thank you, sir. I just had a question about the bill as it, the title as it is recited here. I don't recall at the public hearing that these particular lot numbers were identified. I think the bill merely said in Tamuning. My recollection is such that I raised that issue and asked whether or not a plat map, for example, would be attached to the bill so we knew what we were talking about. And then now I see designations of lot numbers. I assume they're in the municipality of Tamuning. But this is a substantial change to the bill as it was heard. Am I mistaken? Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Fisher. On the motion to place 185-37 onto the session agenda, are there any objections?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to amend the motion. I'd like to amend the motion to also be including bill number 184-37, an act to authorize Guam Ancestral Lands Commission to sell leased lots. I'd like both of these to go on the agenda together. I think it's of the public interest that this discussion for both bills happen on the same session agenda.
Senator Titleweed.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr.
Thank you,
Chair,
Senator Parkinson.
to Senator Fisher's question, I didn't hear a reply, but I did take the liberty to go online and look at what was introduced on Bill 185, and I did notice the lot numbers were indicated online, and also the R2 new R7 lots and stuff. So I just didn't hear a response from you onto his question. So, but I did take the liberty to look at it, and it's the exact same title, but I just would like a response from you for his question, that's all.
Well, the motion was to place the bill on the agenda, and
but
so
there was
that's
a
why I
question
didn't
in
respond to
play.
the question.
Yeah, but there was a question in play.
And we're now on a motion to, Senator Parkinson's now on a motion. Senator Parkinson is attempting to amend Senator Perez's motion to place Bill 185-37 COR onto the agenda, and he's amending it to also place, in addition to 185-37 COR, 184, and these would be both of the hospital bills?
Okay, then, Mr. Chair, if I may, request that the chair respond to the question from Senator Fisher first before we address Senator Parkinson's request.
Fair enough. But may I be heard again?
Senator Fisher?
Thank you very much. Just a follow-up question. Thank you, Senator Titleweed. Was that also the same bill that was heard in the hearing as opposed to what was posted on the website?
Yes, yes, it was. I verified it to your question.
Okay.
It is the same exact bill. However, the bill, it was the same exact bill. However, the bill was amended in committee as it's being brought to us right now to place. So it has been amended, but the title, which you refer to, is exactly the same.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Senator
And then,
Fisher.
if I may, Mr. Chair?
Yes, Senator Titleweed, you're recognized.
As done, you know, I think there was at one time during Committee on Rules where we tried to bundle a bunch of bills that was on the agenda, a shorter agenda, but we felt that it should be done individually. I'd like to maintain that same type of rapport as we go through each individual bill and you know, ask that it, you know, I respectfully object that we can just deal with one bill at a time, like we've done in the past, just to keep the continuity of what we've been doing on this public hearing.
Yeah, that's fine, ma'am. I'll withdraw my motion.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Senator Parkinson.
Thank you. Thank you, Senator Titleweed. So again, on the motion to place 185-37 COR onto the session agenda, there wasn't, as amended by the committee, there was an objection? No? No? Okay, so there we go. Yeah, so any objection? None. Motion passes. Thank you. Senator Perez?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move to place Bill number 184-37 COR as amended by the Committee on Health, Land, Justice, and Culture, sponsored by the Committee on Rules at the request of E. Magahagan Guåhan, the Governor of Guam, in accordance with the Organic Act of Guam. It's an act to authorize the Guam Ancestral Lands Commission to sell or lease lots 2453, 2453-1, 2454, 2455, 2457, and 2457-1 in the municipality of Barrigada to the government of Guam at fair market value for use as a site of a new medical complex, to be placed on the session agenda.
On the motion to place Bill 184-37 COR onto the session agenda, any objections? Senator Brown is objecting. All in favor of placing a Bill 184-37 COR onto the agenda, please signify by raising your hands. Motion passes. As amended. Speaker Terlahi, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to move to place Bill number 116. It's an act to add new subsections MM, NN, and OO to Article 1, Chapter 61, Title 21, Guam Code Annotated, to amend Section 61304B7, 61309B, 61310 of Article 3, Chapter 61, Title 21, Guam Code Annotated, to amend 66201.1 of Article 2, Chapter 66, Title 21, Guam Code Annotated, and to add a new Section 10104D9, 10104A3, 10106B6, 10104C5E, 10104C5F, 10107G, 1010388, 1010389, and 10107G4 to Chapter 10, Title 22, Guam Administrative Rules and Regs, relative to strengthening and harmonizing government agency enforcement capabilities and ensuring best mining or quarrying practices. Bill number 116-37 COR.
Thank you, Speaker Terlahi. On the motion to add 116-37 COR to the agenda, are there any objections? Hearing none, motion passes. Speaker Terlahi, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to move to place Bill number 169 as amended by the Committee on Environment, Revenue and Taxation, Labor, Procurement, and Statistics, Research and Planning, introduced by Teresa M. Terlahi, Sabina Flores-Perez, Chris Barnett, Frank Blas Jr., Jesse A. Lujan, William A. Parkinson, Roy A. B. Kanata, Tello A. Taitukwi. It's an act to amend Section 14101, 14102, 14103 of Chapter 14, Title 18, Guam Code Annotated, relative to the publication of financial information by nonprofit organizations. 169-37 COR.
Thank you, Speaker. On the motion to place 169-37 COR onto the session agenda, any objections? Hearing none, motion passes. Senator, thank you, Speaker. Senator Parkinson, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move to place on the session agenda Bill number 201-37 as amended by the Committee on Fire, Agriculture, Power and Energy Utilities, Public Transit, Unemployment Insurance, and Universal Health Insurance, introduced by myself, Senator William A. Parkinson, an act to add the new subsection 8113.15 to Article 1 of Chapter 18, Title 12, Guam Code Annotated, relative to providing maintenance, operation, and overhaul of diesel generators. Bill number 201-37 COR, ma'am.
On the motion, thank you, Senator Parkinson. On the motion to add 201-37 COR to the session agenda, any objections?
Long time ago.
Hearing none, motion passes. Senator Parkinson?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move to place on the session agenda Bill number 191-37 COR as amended by the Committee on General Government Operations and Appropriations, introduced by myself, Senator William A. Parkinson, an act to add a new Chapter 81 to Division 2 of Title 21, Guam Code Annotated, relative to mandating all Government of Guam leased offices to be ADA compliant, and to cite this act as the Government of Guam ADA Compliance Act of 2023.
On the motion to add Bill 191-37 onto the COR onto the session agenda, any objections? Hearing none, motion passes.
I've got more, but I'll save them for next round.
Okay, thank you, Senator Parkinson. Anybody else? Senator Kanata? you have any bills? Okay, only appointments. Senator Shelton, you're recognized.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Chair. I move to place Bill number 121-37 COR as amended by the Committee on Health, Land, Justice, and Culture, sponsored by Amanda L. Shelton, Tina Rose Munoz-Barnes, Jesse A. Lujan, Roy A. B. Canata, Dwayne T. D. Nicholas, William A. Parkinson, Joe S. San Augustine, an act to authorize the Port Authority of Guam to enter into a 10-year lease agreement with the Marianas Yacht Club on the session agenda.
On the motion to place Bill number 121-37 COR as amended by the Committee on Health, Land, Justice, and Culture, onto the session agenda. Any objections? Hearing none, motion passes. Senator Shelton?
I have appointments, sir. You're taking them at this time?
Are there any other bills, Senator Tydegui?
Sidus Mosley, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, I move to place Bill number 188-37 COR, introduced by myself, Senator Chris Barnett, Senator Joanne Brown, Senator Chris Duenas, Senator Jesse Lujan, Senator Frank Blas Jr., Senator Will A. Parkinson. It's an act to authorize the Guam Police Department, GPD, to use the unexpended balance of the appropriation authorized by Section 2 of Public Law 35-22 for the purpose of procuring audio-visual recording equipment to be used during interviews conducted by GPD personnel. I'd like to place that on the agenda, sir.
Thank you, Senator Tydegui. On the motion to place Bill number 188-37 COR onto the session agenda, are there any objections? Hearing none, motion passes. Senator Tydegui?
That's all I have, sir. Thank you.
Senator Brown?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I'd certainly like to make a motion to place Bill number 30-37 COR as amended by the Committee on General Government Operations and Appropriations, introduced by myself, Chris Barnett, Frank Blas Jr., Thomas Fisher, Tello Tydegui, Christopher Duenas, Jesse Lujan, and add a new Section 4104A1D of Article 1, and to add a new Section 4203.4 to Article 2, both of Chapter 4, Title 4, Guam Code Annotated, and to amend Section 49.90 of Chapter 49, Title 9, Guam Code Annotated, relative to the prohibition of employment in the government of Guam of individuals convicted of official misconduct under the provisions of 9 GCA Section 49.90.
Thank you, Senator Brown. On the motion to add Bill number 30-37 COR as amended by the Committee on General Government Operations and Appropriations onto the session agenda, are there any objections? Hearing none, motion passes.
Are we able to do our second one? I have one
Senator
more.
Brown?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I'd also like to motion to place Bill number 166-37 COR as amended by the Committee on General Government Operations and Appropriations, introduced by myself, and add a new Section 8103E to Chapter 8 of Title 5 Guam Code Annotated, relative to requiring boards and commission meetings, audio and/or video files to be posted on the respective agency's website with a link to the Office of the Public Accountability's website.
Thank you, Senator Brown. On the motion to add Bill number 166-37 COR as amended by the Committee on General Governmental Operations and Appropriations to the session agenda, any objections? 166-37 COR. Hearing none, motion passes. Thank you, Senator Brown. Good. Senator Fisher, any bills? Okay. Senator Duenas? Okay, thank you.
Mr. Chair?
Senator Canata, you're recognized.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chair. I yield my two bill slots to Senator Parkinson.
Thank you, Senator Canata. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move to place on the session agenda Bill number 98-37 COR as amended by the Committee on Education, Public Safety, and the Arts, introduced by myself, Senator William A. Parkinson, Roy A. B. Canata, an act to add a new Chapter 55 of Division 5, Title 17, Guam Code Annotated, relative to mandating all Guam public schools to be ADA compliant, and to cite this act as the Guam Public Schools ADA Compliance Act of 2023.
On the motion to add Bill number 98-37 COR as amended by the Committee on Education, Public Safety, and the Arts to the session agenda, are there any objections? Hearing none, motion passes. Senator Parkinson?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move to place on the session agenda Bill number 142-37 COR as amended by the Committee on Fire, Agriculture, Power, and Energy Utilities, public transit, unemployment insurance, and universal health insurance, introduced by myself, Senator William A. Parkinson, an act to amend subsection 8502C2B of Article 5, Chapter 8, Title 12, Guam Code Annotated, relative to net metering.
Thank you, Senator Parkinson. On the motion to add Bill number 142-37 COR as amended by the Committee on Fire, Agriculture, Power, and Energy Utilities, Public Transit, Unemployment Insurance, and Universal Health Insurance onto the session agenda, are there any objections? Hearing none, motion passes. Senator Paris, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move to place Bill 104-37 LS as amended by the Committee on Environment, Revenue and Taxation, Labor Procurement, Statistics, Research, and Planning, sponsored by myself, Senator Sabina Flores Perez, Senator Christopher M. Duenas, and Senator Chris Barnett. It's an act to amend Section 3606 of Article 6, Chapter 3, Title 16, Guam Code Annotated, and to amend Section 51202C of Article 2, Chapter 51, and to amend Section 51301P, 51305, and 51306B of Article 3, Chapter 51, and to add a new Article 6 to 51, all of Title 10 Guam Code Annotated, and to add a new Section 46.85 to Chapter 46, Title 9 Guam Code Annotated, relative to the disposal of abandoned and junk vehicles, to be placed on the session agenda. This is Bill 104-37 LS.
On the motion to place 104-37 LS as amended by the Committee on Environment, Revenue and Taxation, Labor, Procurement, and Statistics, Research, and Planning, are there any objections?
I just have an inquiry.
Hold on. If there are no objections...
Wait.
Senator Tydegui?
Thank you. Mr. Chair, I think earlier we discussed about maybe just putting 2 bills per senator on the agenda. I think this is already the 3rd bill Senator Paris is putting on the agenda. So I just want to know, are we putting now bills that if we're trying to finish by a certain timeline in the legislature, and then maybe those additional bills can be addressed if we have time after? I just want to make sure that we don't go... Yeah, like a potential that already has met all the qualifications and requirements needed to be placed on this session agenda, as well as this 5-day meeting, that we can have a list that are potentials, just so that we don't go over a certain amount of time in the session. So if we can, maybe create that potential list, just so that, and if I can hear from the speaker, I know that we want to stay within it.
Can I suggest that we
Speaker,
just
yes.
take the 2 bills from each person, and then the extra 2 bills or extra 3rd bill we put to the bottom of the agenda, and that way we will decide what to do while we're in session, but they will be on the agenda. And if we need to adjourn or something, then that will... my suggestion is to put those on the bottom of the agenda.
Okay, thank you.
So the last 2 bills that we approved, and this 3rd one.
I have no problem with that. I think that's fair enough. I just don't want us to bleed over into a second week when everyone has... Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Senator Tydegui. So we were on the motion to add Bill number 104-37 LS as amended by the Committee on Environment, Revenue and Tax, Labor, Procurement, Statistics, Research, and Planning onto the session agenda. Is there any objection? Hearing none, motion passes. Senator Parkinson?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move to place on this session agenda resolution number 234-37 LS, introduced by William A. Parkinson, Jesse A. Lujan, Dwayne T.D. St-Nicholas, Joe San Augustine, Roy A.B. Kanata, Tina Rose Munoz-Barnes, relative to expressing the support of the people of Guam for the Republic of the Philippines' legitimate and historical claim to the West Philippine Sea, reaffirming the crucial role of international law and acknowledging the invaluable ties and common history between Guam and the Philippines. Yeah, bottom of the agenda. Yes, I'd like to motion to put that at the bottom of the agenda. Yeah. No, resolution.
Okay, on the motion to place Resolution 234-37
LS.
LS
At the bottom of the
at
agenda.
the bottom of the agenda. Are there any objections? At the bottom of the session agenda. Any objections? Hearing none, motion passes. Senator Parkinson?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move to place on the agenda Resolution number 207-37 as amended by the author, introduced by William A. Parkinson, relative to recognizing coral reefs as essential infrastructure for the protection of the coast of Guam and its inherent relationship in the conservation of beaches and other elements of nature. I'd like to motion to put that at the bottom of the session agenda.
Are there any objections? Hearing none, motion passes. Senator Perez?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move to place Bill 186-37 LS as amended by the Committee on Environment, Revenue, and Taxation, Labor, Procurement, Statistics, Research, and Planning. It's sponsored by myself, Senator Sabina Flores Perez, Senator Chris Barnett, an act to amend Section 6102L of Article 1, amend Section 6505 and repeal and reenact 6506, amend 6507, all of Article 5, Chapter 6, Title 11, relative to updating the use of tobacco fees and penalties to protect Guam's youth from the harms of nicotine and tobacco use, to be placed on the bottom of the session agenda. This is 186-37 LS.
On the motion, are there any objections? Hearing none, motion passes. Thank you, Senator Perez.
Thank you.
Senator, any other resolutions? That's called. Senator Kanata?
Appointments, Mr. Chair? Okay. I don't have any resolutions. I only have appointments.
Senator Perez? We're in appointments.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move to place the nomination of Janelyn C. Demion, a member.
We're on appointments now.
Are we complete with the bills? Okay. So then I move to place the appointment of Janelyn C. Demion, to be a member on the board, Guam Board of Equalization, onto the session agenda. Janelyn C. Demion, a member of the Guam Board of Equalization.
On the motion, are there any objections? Hearing none, motion passes. Thank you, Senator Perez.
Okay.
Senator Kanata?
Mr. Chair, I move to place in the reappointment of Lilian Opina Guerrero to serve as a member of the Guam Housing Corporation Board of Directors for a term of 6 years. It was filed with court January 4th, 2024 at 2:43 p.m. Confirmed receipt January 4th, 2024 at 3:05 p.m. and uploaded onto the website January 4th, 2024 at 3:23 p.m. And it is available on the website again.
On the placement of the appointment of Lilian Opena Guerrero, a member Guam Housing Corporation Board of Directors, are there any objections? Hearing none, motion passes.
I move to place the reappointment of Francisco A. Florg to serve as a member of the Guam Housing Corporation Board of Directors for a term of 6 years, filed with court again January 4, 2024 at 4:30 p.m. Confirmed receipt January 4, 2024 at 4:43 p.m. Uploaded onto the website again January 4, 2024 at 5:04 p.m.
On the appointment of Francisco A. Florg, Frank Florg, member Guam Housing Corporation Board of Directors, are there any objections? Hearing none, motion passes.
One more, Mr.
Senator
Chair.
Kanata.
I move to place the reappointment of Victor R. Torres to serve as a member of the Guam Housing and Urban Renewal Authority Board of Commissioners for a term of 5 years, filed with court January 4, 2024 at 4:13 p.m. Confirmed receipt at January 4, 2024 at 4:26 p.m. Again, available on website as well.
Thank you, Senator Kanata. On the motion, any objections? Hearing none, motion passes. So thank you. Speaker, Senator Shelton. Okay, Speaker Terlai.
Thank you. I'd like to make a motion to place the appointment of Ronald C. Pangilinan as a member of the Guam Land Use Commission onto the agenda.
On the motion, are there any objections? Hearing none, motion passes.
Yeah, I'd also like to make a motion to place the nomination of reappointment of Ronald T. Guåhan to serve as a member of the Guam Ancestral Lands Commission for 4 years. This has been submitted to CORE for approval.
Yeah. Thank you. We're in the final stages of approving it, just for the members here, but of course we had to pull away the CORE staff to staff the meeting, but it'll be promptly posted on the website, I would say within the hour. So on the motion again, oh, sorry, Senator Teitigui.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, I've been very consistent, and Roland is a very good friend of mine. In fact, I agreed to his appointment to sit on the Guam Ancestral Lands Commission, made it public. However, to stay consistent, I don't see him on the agenda. I don't see him on the website. I don't see him anywhere here, and I would have to object.
Thank you, Senator Teitigui. There's been an objection. All those in favor of placing the reappointment of Ronald T. Guåhan to serve as member of the Guam Ancestral Lands Commission for 4 years, from September 18, 2023 to September 17, 2027. All those in favor, please signify.
Mr. Chair, is it on the website already? Can we get clarification if it's already been uploaded?
It's pending clearance from the Committee on Rules, and then it'll be subsequently posted on the website, like I would estimate within the hour. But it's my understanding there's some urgency with this appointment. So all those in favor, please signify by raising their...
If I may, Mr. Chair, sorry to interrupt, sir, but you made a comment just there that there is an emergency for him to be placed on the session agenda, and I don't think that's the case. I believe they have a quorum, so just wanted to clarify.
Thank you,
that.
Senator Teitigui. So there has been an objection. All those in favor, please signify by raising your hands. Ron Guåhan. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Really? Fails. Motion fails. Senator Shelton, you're recognized.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chair. I move to place the appointment of Michael J.S. Robigo as a member of the Department of Parks and Recreation Commission on the session agenda.
On the motion, are there any objections? Hearing none, motion passes.
Mr. Chair, I move to place the appointment of Gravinder S. Sopti as a member of the A.B. Wanpat International Airport Authority Board of Directors on the session agenda. Sopti, Big Sopti.
On the appointment of Big Sopti to the GIA Board of Directors, are there any objections? No objection. Hearing none, motion passes.
And finally, Mr. Chair, I move to place the appointment of Christopher L.C. Duenas as member of the University of Guam Board of Regents on the session agenda. Christopher L.C. Duenas as UOG Board of Regent.
Thank you, Senator Shelton. Are there any, on the motion, are there any objections? Hearing none, motion passes. Are there any more appointments? Okay. Speaker Terlahi, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to make a motion to add to the motions on our session agenda the election of a clerk for the legislature. Right now we have an acting clerk. We've never elected them according to the rules. I'd like to formally elect, and we have to do that in session. So I just want to add that to the motions, under motions on our session agenda.
Thank you, Speaker. Are there any objections on the motion?
Mr. Chair, I'm sorry.
Senator Teitigui, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, for recognizing me. And I'm sorry, but I was the acoustics in here are very bad. My ears are bad too as well. Can you please explain again what we are doing?
Speaker?
Yes. Actually, I might amend that motion because I don't think we ever swore in our we call him the priest, yeah. what's the name of the chaplain? Yeah, anyways, so I just wanted to, as we've done in the past, under motions on our session agenda, not today, but under motions on our session agenda, add in an election of clerk and the swearing in of the chaplain if he's available that day. But
Senator Titlegy?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to separate those two, if I may. Separate it so that the first motion is the voting on the clerk, and the other one is just the because we voted on the chaplain already. You know, it's just a matter of swearing him in for formality reasons. But this is big on the clerk side. It was not in our agenda today to have that discussion as to whether to put it on the agenda, and I asked that we separate the two requests into two motions.
On the motion to separate the motion, there's no objection, right? Okay, motion passes. So on the motion to vote on the clerk of the legislature and to add that motion to motions on the session agenda, is there any objection?
Object.
There is one objection. Can all in favor signify by raising their hands? Motion passes. Now on the motion to add to motions on the session agenda, the swearing in of the legislature's chaplain, are there any objections? No objections. Motion passes. Thank you. And I believe that exhausts our nominations, appointments, and bills. Is there a motion to adopt the session agenda?
So moved, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Are there any objections to adopting the session agenda? Okay. Hearing none, motion passes. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Objection, extension of remarks, please. It's on the agenda. Gotcha.
I made a motion to adjourn. Is there any objection? There's been an objection.
Well,
so
sir,
on the
sir,
motion
I'd
to
like
adjourn.
I'd like to be heard on that. Sir, the point of this is to let my colleagues know that I have submitted a motion to the Rules Committee to allow the Guam Youth Conference, I hope it had been circulated to you, to allow the speaker or her designee to have observer status within the Guam legislature. Not to vote, not to participate in discussion, but merely observe. I'm not putting it on the agenda for voting because I want you guys to have an opportunity to look at it. But I know that members of the Guam Youth Congress and probably their family are watching us today, and I want them to know that, I told them that I was going to try and get this through, and we're working on it, but I think all of you have the right to consider it.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Thank you, Senator Fisher. And I would just also add to the viewing public that the rules dictate a process for amending of the standing rules, and that process mandates that you introduce the amendments, the proposed amendments, through a resolution form. So thank you very much.
Yeah, I'll be using Standing Rule 4.02 as well as invoking the jurisdiction of the Rules Committee.
Thank you, Senator Fisher.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. All right, now, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Can I clarify the previous, my good friend from Talafofo, Ipen's not a village, it's a part of Talafofo, brother. But anyways, my understanding is anyone can be an observer of the legislative operations, so I'm not too sure what are we trying to do here. We're trying to give them a desk on the floor, or?
Well, part of the motion, if I can answer, part of the motion instructs the Sergeant at Arms to find a comfortable and convenient place for the speaker or her designee on the floor, so she can observe us actually on the floor as opposed to being in the gallery. So I'd like you to, we're nurturing a new generation of leadership, and I ask all of you to give it some thought.
Noted. Thank you, Mr. Ipen Talafofo.
Thank you, Senator Kanata. Thank you very much, members, and Happy New Year. I missed you guys. Haven't seen you since last year. Do I now hear a motion to adjourn? We have a motion to adjourn. Any objections? Hearing none. The Committee on Rules hereby adjourns this meeting at 1:12 Chamorro Standard Time. Thank you for your attendance and participation.